The following is the extract of a course linked in the description.
Hey guys, thank you for joining me. This is Krishna. On this video, we're gonna keep going with mixing, and what we're gonna see. So on the last one, we just assigned the different tracks to our mixer over here. So now the first step is gonna be to balance the volume of every tracks, right? So they mesh well together. So funny story, I mean not funny story, but when I was starting, I mean there weren't any resources. YouTube wasn't there at the time. A lot of it was mostly just the FS Studio manual and some forums. And I was making music, and I had a female friend that was sometimes singing on it and all those things. So when I was sending her my beats, most of the time she would come back and say, "Oh, the beat is good, but it's not mixed, right?" And I never really at the time I didn't understand what she meant. I'm like, what do you mean it's not mixed? So I was going back, trying to do some other stuff, and most of the time when she was singing on it, she would send it back. There were like some fade in, fade out. I'm like, okay, maybe that's what she meant. I would do that. I would send it again to her, and she would be, it's not mixed. And she told me that maybe 3 or 4 times before I actually asked her, okay, every time I send you a beat, you always tell me it's not mixed. What do you mean? And, basically what she was telling me was the volume of the different instruments, they're not really set properly. And then I did a little bit more research on it. And the next thing that I sent her is like, okay, it's better. And from there, I kept improving on it. So mixing is different, is definitely an important process when when you're making a beat. Um, Not only for the volume, but as well, like we're gonna see, you can have different effects to make it shine a little bit to make it pop. When I'm working on a project like this, most of the time I will play this beat on repeat, several times. I After maybe an hour, 2 hours, my ears are not fresh anymore. So I could go ahead and maybe set those levels myself. This is what I was doing before. But nowadays, what I do is I use a plugin. Where did I? Give me one. I think it's over here. Okay, so I use a plugin. This is the plugin over here, Credland Audio, credland.net slash pink. I'm going to provide you that in the description. And this is a free plugin that you can download, and it generate a pink noise. There is different ways of generating a pink noise. You could download on the internet just a WAV file, an audio file that's just pink noise, or you could use maybe another instruments, another synthesizer to generate that pink noise for you. Synthesizer, actually, some synthesizers have a way of doing that. So over here, just go ahead and download it, and it's gonna be here. If you don't know, but if you don't remember what you need to make it available, just after you download it, if you use FS Studio, come over here, more plugins, manage plugins, and you're gonna come up here to find install plugins, and it's gonna go ahead and find whatever you just install, right? And it's gonna be available to you over here. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and let's bring up that plugin. What I do is I bring it up on the master. So over here I am on the master. I'm gonna come up here. Let me just look it up, just like this. Doesn't really matter which format that you're using. Most of the time I keep it to VST, and this is the peak noise over here. Okay, so the pink noise, the thing with the pink noise, it helps us with a few different things. You're not gonna get once you're gonna be done with that process. It's not that the your mix is done, but it's gonna set it to it's gonna give you a very good start to make some really small adjustment, and from there you can get going. The other thing that this does actually is I like it because it's set it over here to -6 dB, so I don't even have to think about it. Usually over here you could have left it here. I mean, most of the time when we listen to those songs, we think that we want to push everything up. The one of the issue that comes with that is later on when we come to mix to mastering, or even when we want to compress, use a compressor, because everything is already so pushed up, we have no room anymore uh to use that audio because everything is already so hot, right? So with using something like a noise, a big noise over here, what this is gonna do is gonna make us set our levels over here pretty low without us thinking about it. So later on, when we move over here to mastering, we have a lot more room to play with. But because over here, if everything is so pushed up like this, when you're gonna use a plugin to mastering, it's not gonna have no effect. It's not gonna have any effect because everything is already so pushed up. There is no way that it can do anything anything there. So the thing with the pink noise over here. So I'm just gonna generate it again. What we're gonna see actually before I do that, I'm gonna bring up um, uh, an an equalizer over here, and what you're gonna see is the level of the pink noise is on the slope, right? And the thing with the pink noise, what people are saying, or if you study that a little bit, it tends to represent all the different frequency on the spectrum. And if we have a look at it over here, this is the spectrum that we're seeing there, basically on the slope, right? So when we're gonna go ahead, let's go ahead now and have it set up. So the way we're gonna do it is we set the peak noise. We're gonna turn on the peak noise, and we're gonna bring all the different tracks all down. And most of the time, what I do as well is I tend to set it over here just on just the chorus or where everything is kind of playing. So I know that I have a very good section over here. I know in this part over here, I have a chance of hearing all the different instruments, right? So the loudest part. And over here, we're gonna bring all the levels down and we're gonna turn it up one by one. The goal is we're gonna bring the level just just at the point where we are barely hearing that track, and then we're gonna turn it off, we're gonna mute it, move to the next one. So we just bring it up just when we're about to hear it because it's gonna be under the noise, under the pink noise, and we're trying to bring it a little bit above the pink noise, right? And you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead, let's turn on the pink noise. And right now I'm gonna go ahead and bring all the tracks over here down. Let's go ahead and play it. So if we don't hear anything, I'm gonna bring up the pink noise and I'm gonna bring that track up. So it looks like it's about 60% over here. So I'm also looking at the information that is available there, right? Once that is done, I'm gonna mute it and then I'm gonna move to the kick. Okay, let's move to the snare. Okay, let's move to this part over here. Okay, let's move to, so I forgot to turn those off. It might throw you off a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't really make a big difference, but usually I just prefer to only listen to the sound that I'm trading over here. So let's look at the effects over here. I think about around this is good. Now we're gonna listen to this one over here. Okay, and let's listen to the last one now. Right here I think is good. So with that being done, what's gonna happen is when I'm gonna try to play it, usually what I found is with the pink noise, with the higher frequencies, so if you have hi-hats, cymbals, or anything that's a little bit too bright, you might find that you need to push it up really high in order for you to listen to it, and that could happen. You just need to bring it back, to bring it low, a little bit down to the level that works. So we're gonna listen to it. So I can leave it here. It seems like it works pretty well for me. Although for my kick, I like it to be a little bit more powerful. For my drums to be a little bit more powerful. But this is something that we can do as well when we move up, and we're gonna add a compressor over here. It's gonna play into it. But you can see really quickly that our levels over here are not as pushed up as they were, and it tends to match to mesh a little bit better, and as well um, the volume that we're getting here on the master is pretty low. That's gonna allow us later on when we're gonna get into mastering to have enough room for gain reduction to be able to push it up a little bit more. So let's listen again to it. So this is how you can get a quick volume balance really quickly in under about 5 minutes. This is quick because, especially because with hip hop, we don't have a lot of tracks. If you look at some other genre, such as maybe rock or pop, those kind of things, they have a lot of tracks. It could be a little bit boring for you to come up here, but I also think at that point this is even more important for you to use the pink noise because there are just so many things to track. This might be a better way for you to set a proper level for all those different tracks. So let me leave it here. Go ahead and do it on your hand. And when we're gonna come back, we're gonna now start adding a little bit of. We're gonna equalize some of those tracks and add some reverb and all those different things. So let's leave it here and let's come back to the next video. Guys, if you enjoy the content, share like, and subscribe to the channel. I also wanted to let you know about my free mastering mini course that's gonna be available there in the description. You're also gonna get with that free banger drums kit, right, with some crazy samples. Basically, you're gonna be able to make some crazy drum patterns. Okay, so the link is gonna be in the description. It's gonna let you know how you're gonna have access to it, and I will talk to you in another video.